Hello everyone, this is JL Aviation here, back again with another Gemini Jets unboxing. This time I got this model more recently than the most recent haul that I did my last few unboxings on, and this one I also got at the airplane shop in Miami. I went over there a few months back and I was looking around at some of the new releases, and this one caught my eye the most because Allegiant is an airline that I've been interested in since I was very young. I always thought that they had a very interesting business model. They always fly to secondary airports, are based out of airports such as Orlando, Sanford, St. Petersburg, Punta Gorda, and others in Florida, and mostly serve leisure passengers, low-cost passengers, and mostly target specific people who want to travel between these smaller cities that they fly to across the United States. I've recorded a few flight reviews on them. You can go check them out on my channel, and they have operated an all Airbus A320, A319 fleet for a couple of years, and recently they've begun to receive the Boeing 737 MAX 200, which is a variant that began operations with Ryanair in the European low-cost market and fits many more seats than the regular 737 MAX 8 variants. Now, Allegiant has begun operating these a few months ago. I think they received one near the end of 2024, and they've started receiving more recently and basing them out of Orlando, Sanford, and some of their other Florida airports. In my collection, I already have a few Allegiant Airbus A320 and A319 aircraft, as well as one of their old 757s that they operated out of Las Vegas for a bit back in like the 2000s, early 2010s. And now they've gone back to including some Boeing aircraft in their fleet with the 737 MAX 200, and we'll see a bit of what it looks like with this model. I really already like the box design. You can see it's two slightly different variants from the extra exit door on the one above. I'm pretty sure that is the 200. Here's a different variant without that door. That's the 7 variant that apparently they do have an order for, but I guess we'll have to wait until that one starts getting delivered since it's been quite a while. But anyways, look around at the box. Allegiant has a special box design like many other airlines do, with kind of the blue surroundings, light blue. Let me remove a bit of the dust here. Here's Gemini Jets 1/400 scale diecast model 2024 release, just like when the airplane started getting delivered. The back is kind of standard, unlike the rest of the Gemini Jets boxes. And here, instead of like the plain bio, like the bio on the aircraft model, you just get one kind of on Allegiant. On the older releases, they had a lot more. Now they just kind of have like 2 simple sentences. And there's a photo of the aircraft. And here is the model. Let's open it. And here it is. Already looks very interesting on the 737 now. We've been used to the Allegiant livery on the A320s and A319s for many years already, so it just looks kind of weird seeing it on the 737 here. Kind of very interesting. I guess we'll start seeing them more, so you might get a bit used to it, but yeah, it's just such an interesting sight to see this livery on the 737 MAX 200 now operating in the United States for the first time. I really do want to fly on Allegiant's MAX someday, since I've had pretty good experiences with Allegiant in the past. And like I said before, you can go check out some of my videos on those experiences. And here we have got the Allegiant 737 MAX 8200 model in 1/400 scale. I'm going to zoom in for a bit to get a closer look at it. Now the Allegiant livery, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but it's honestly like my favorite of any of the US airlines, and I think especially since they've added this stripe, I think it looks really good. I think the sun and tail looks really good, even in the 737, which we're not really used to. Over here they've got the 737-8200 label below the cockpit windows. Of course, the Allegiant logo big up in the front, the blue engines. Here's a view from the back, and something I kind of noticed recently was how the left wing looks a bit more slanted upwards than the right wing. I don't know if it's very noticeable right now, but it doesn't really bother me, especially when I have it in display most of the time. It's just kind of a small detail that you can see there. Speaking of small details, over here you have the antenna Pretty nice detail from Gemini as always, and you also have some under here. Cargo doors as well. You can see here's the registration, which is November 810 Mike Golf. Now this airframe wasn't operating when I got this model. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the one that was operating during that time was November 811 November Victor, and this one began operating this year, if I'm not incorrect. This one was still finishing up being built and tested by the time I got this model. On the underside, as always, you've got the Gemini Jets logo. Then you have where you can put the stand for display. Here's some views from the underside. There's always really nice detail. I think that the 737 MAX aircraft, they gave them a really nice look with the 1/400 molds. I think that for comparison, a lot of the Airbus aircraft, people have had problems with the kind of overly large engines, and I don't have that many Airbus models, so I don't have that many to compare them with. But I've seen many people online talking about that as well. Another detail I really like, as always, is the winglets. I think that the design looks really nice, and since I have it here, actually I can bring in my Allegiant A320 and show any similarities that they might have. Anyways, here's an A320 that I got a few years ago. Same livery as always, and of course the A320 tail, you can see kind of the difference between the 737 MAX tail as well, and this is kind of the Allegiant that we've been more used to until recently. Uses the same winglet design as the 737 MAX, of course, but in the MAX we of course have the split winglets. So now in the MAX we of course do have the split winglets. The A320 we just have the sharklets as we know them. And yeah, what Allegiant is basically trying to seek with this new 737 model is just larger capacity in some flights. As you can see here, the 737 MAX is a bit longer than the A320, and they also fit more seats on it. So it kind of fits with Allegiant's low-cost business model, and since they're trying to get more traffic out of their biggest hubs, it's going to work for them, and also, of course, for sustainability as well, since the 737 MAX engines are quite sustainable compared to the regular A320 family. They didn't order the A320 Neos, they opted for the 737 MAX 200 instead as the launch customer of this specific model in the US. So I hope it really works out for them, and of course, like I've said before, I really want to try their 737 MAX one day, because overall, honestly, Allegiant 737 MAX is just a very interesting combination. Me and some of my friends have just thought it was kind of funny, or just seems kind of cursed that Allegiant operates 737 MAXs now, but I've seen some product reviews of them. I know they do offer in-seat power right now, which is very, very good for low-cost airlines, so I hope this aircraft offers a better product for them, that they can compete better as an alternative to major airports and airlines. And this has been it for today's unboxing. Let me know if you guys also like this model, if you guys are also a fan of Allegiant's livery or other parts of the airline as well. Hopefully when I get to build my airport back at some point, I can put it next to my other Allegiant aircraft. I think it would look really cool as well. You can start a conversation in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and of course check out my flight reviews on Allegiant as well as many other airlines that I have. And like I said, I definitely look forward to doing a review on Allegiant's 737 MAX 200 one day. I haven't flown on the 200 model yet, so it will be a very interesting one to try out someday. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next unboxing, as I've got many more interesting models that I've gotten recently. So stay tuned for those and other videos that I'm working on currently. This is JL Aviation signing off for today. Have a wonderful day wherever you're watching from.